This is a clip from one of our most recent episodes. For full episodes and more, please check us out on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Stitcher, and YourVibesPodcast.com. This episode is brought to you by The Station. The Station is downtown Dixon's premier event venue. Located inside historic Mulberry Mill, The Station is a perfect space for a wedding or reception, birthday party or baby shower, conference or class, photo or video shoot, and even a live music performance. Just a quick 45-minute commute from Nashville, Clarksville, and Columbia, the station provides your guests with a classy and convenient experience in the heart of downtown Dixon's up-and-coming environment. To book your next event, please contact Andy Truman at 336-693-4311 or email her at events@mulberrymilldixon.com.
Yeah, but partying, you can't beat Korea, honestly.
Oh, really? Club scenes or just
Club
in general?
scenes in general. I mean, you can't do drugs in Korea. It's extremely illegal.
Really?
Like
So
you
people
can't
just
smoke
party
pot.
to party over there.
People just party to party, and
That takes a special kind of person here.
I mean, there are bars that are open 24 hours and bars that offer like half-off specials starting at 8 a.m. in the morning.
That's what I'm talking about. A lot of
So people
alcoholics
stay
over
up
there.
all night long
Yeah.
and they start drinking.
Bowling is cheaper at midnight.
Oh, so you've traveled over there with
Yeah,
us.
we went together.
Yeah, we've been to
Cool.
Korea.
Yeah.
Bowling is cheaper at midnight. So
It is.
Speaking from personal experience on that one.
Yes.
It was at like 3 in the morning and we went bowling.
It was
Why
like
not?
all you could bowl for like $10.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I'm talking
They have
about.
a full bar and everything, and yeah, it was fun.
So is that the start of the day or the end of the night?
I'm not sure.
Well, that's like a trick question because this is like on day 2 of our trip, and we failed miserably on trying to beat our jet lag because Korea's a 14-hour time difference.
Yeah.
And we got into Korea at like 5 in the morning, and we were like, we're gonna stay up all day and knock this jet lag thing out, and we're not gonna have to like
Yeah, we
struggle
figured,
at all.
14-hour flight. You get some sleep, and we did, but it's not sleep. Like you
No. You're sitting there with like a neck pillow,
Yeah.
just kind of maybe
Yes.
sleeping.
So we made it until like 5 p.m. and then we both passed out, and then we woke up at like 11 p.m. and it was so cute because he was like, I'm so hungry. Is anything gonna be open? And I looked at him and I was like, of course,
Do you know where we
everything's
are?
open.
Yeah. Well, we were in Gangnam, but it was, from our
Apartment
that we were staying in. We were one block back from the main street, so you couldn't see any like vendors
Okay.
or restaurants. I think we were looking at a bank, and so I mean it's your first time there,
Sure.
and you're in a big city, but everything's quiet. I mean, you go stand out on the terrace, and it's like,
Quiet.
yeah, but
Wow.
you go down to the street. And there's something open. I mean, we walked like 2 blocks and found the first restaurant. And,
What was it?
it was a Korean barbecue restaurant.
We went to go to Pork Belly, and we ate there, and we went bowling. And I think that night, after bowling at like 5 in the morning, we went to go get food and more
Yeah.
things to drink, and then came back to our room. And I was like, well, that's your first Korean experience. Right there.
So y'all just sleep through the rest of the day and.
Oh
maybe
no! I
shake
mean,
it
it
off?
was it was your typical vacation. You go to relax and have a good time, but it was seriously it was nonstop.
Packed, yeah.
Because we saw family, we saw friends. Everyone wants to do something with you. Because I mean, it's how often do you get to travel across the world?
Sure.
So,
Absolutely. So was this their first time for you and their family to meet?
it was-
Yeah, it was.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Your family like to party too?
Oh yeah. They all do. They all do. In
Soju is
various
a thing,
levels.
man.
Okay, I like it.
So we had all had a good time, and he got to meet some of my oldest friends. These girls I've known since I was 5 and 7. Like we've all been friends for like 30 years now.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Yeah. So and their husbands, and like we spent like 3 days with them, and we just ate a lot.
Yeah. That's the
Drank
best
a
thing
lot.
to do on vacation.
Yeah.
Just eat.
Just keep eating.
I don't see where
Body
they,
and
I really
drink.
don't see where they put it, man. Literally. I mean, we would eat all day long.
So I love it when David tells this story because it's, for us, it's something totally normal. Like, I don't think it's anything out of the norm, but he's like, you guys are eating again? Like, he's like, what?
Yeah, so this one particular day we met up and we were in Chinchon.
Chinchon.
And we were going to a market, which was a couple of hours away. Now, to put this in a picture for you, imagine being in Knoxville and driving to the mountains, all right? Driving out into Gatlinburg, okay? So that's your scenery.
Okay.
Mountains,
Beautiful.
the trees, it's beautiful, okay? But we start that morning off about 7 or 8 o'clock.
Yeah, it was like 8 a.m. when they came
And-
to pick us up.
We all load into this van and we're traveling. We get maybe 15, 20 minutes down the road and we come to a rest area. Now, I say a rest area, it is like one that you'd see on the side of the interstate. It's your typical thing. But in these rest areas, you have restaurants, all right, markets, all kinds of little things.
Yeah, Korean rest areas are
Completely different.
epic.
All right,
Full-on
they're not
experiences,
just your
yeah.
vending machine and bathrooms.
Yeah.
So anyway, first thing in the morning, we go in and we order food, and we had pork cutlets. All right,
Cheese stuffed pork.
that's
Is that a good thing? They sound delicious.
oh,
They
it
are
They
was
sound
at
delicious.
8:30 in the morning. Yeah.
Now, on our way to the rest area, we already had food in the car. Like, my
Yeah.
friends were like, here, have a sandwich.
Yeah, they make little snacks for you.
Road trip.
So,
Yeah.
it was like meal 1.1, and then 1.2 happened at the rest area. And then 1.3 is the outdoor street food part of the rest area. And they were like, what do you want? We'll get everything that you want. So we bought like an armful of more food to eat on our way.
On our 2-hour ride to the
market.
Okay. So imagine a nice country drive, all right? And we finally end up in this market. And the first thing that we do is look for a restaurant to go eat at. Of course. Okay. So imagine like a huge flea market, okay?
Okay.
Vendors everywhere, and these vendors come from the mountains and from the ocean, and it's all of their harvest, that they've accrued for the week, and they bring it there to sell it, just on the weekends. So
it's as fresh as it can.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
I mean anything you can imagine, from honey to squid to flowers to vegetables.
Everything.
I mean,
Cool.
oh yeah. The world's greatest farmers market.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we get there, and of course, I'm the only one who can't speak Korean, and it's my job to pick this restaurant.
It's like an alleyway of all these restaurants on both sides. And we're like, David, pick a restaurant.
Yeah. So I look down this way, and there's probably a dozen. I look to my left, and there's probably a dozen more down that way, and it all looks like the same kind of food. So what do you pick? So I just kind of found one that had a lot of people in it.
Yeah, that's a good start.
That must have been a good place to go. So, and everyone was like, good choice, good choice. All right.
Win for David. David for the win.
You get a
Yep.
star.
Yeah, so I won that battle. But there, we eat, we buy more food, more snacks for the ride back, okay? I'm not
No,
lying.
after we ate, there's also eating at the market while we're walking around.
Because they have fresh food. They'll grill it right there in front of you, right there at the market. We had, he had to be an American, but he was making taffy.
Pumpkin taffy.
Oh, wow.
Homemade taffy on a grill, right there.
Whoa. There's just everything you can get your hands around.
Yeah.
Yes,
There.
absolutely.
Yeah, this market happens every 5 days.
Okay.
So like every 5th day on the calendar, this market's open.
And you just free for all, like
You
Yes.
can
go
go.
in and grab what you want.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
That is so
Mhm.
awesome.
So after we, snacked on more things at the market and bought more things to take with us in the car, and we snack more in the car, and then we go to dinner.
Yeah, right. So we go to dinner, and we're at a table probably about the size of this. It's probably about 6 or 7 foot long. And the 6 of us are sitting there, and there's these 2 big woks, all right, and they load this stuff up with spicy chicken, and they're grilling it, and I'm sitting here looking at the magnitude of these 2 woks and all this food, and I'm thinking to myself, how are we going to eat all of this? Right? Because I haven't seen a to-go box at any restaurant that I've been at so far. Okay, so
It's not really a thing.
it's
in
not.
Korea.
Yeah, it gets eaten. All the food gets eaten. So we're finished. All right, we're stuffed, and there's a little bit left. All right, in each wok. This lady comes out, and she has bowls of rice and seaweed
And
and kimchi and cheese. And she mixes all of our leftovers up with this rice and makes a stir fry out of it. And then we finish that. Okay? So by the time we're done, we're walking back out to the car. And her friend,
One of my friends.
she comes walking out, and she is like half doubled over, holding her stomach. And she is saying that she is so full. And I can imagine. And then she just says, you just have to push it down. And she just starts like, just squatting down. She goes, you just push it down. And I'm like, it's the funniest thing in the
in there
world.
somewhere, we'll find it.
Well,
where
we'll
are you
just
pushing it?
pushing it.
Where?
Where's it going? Are we gonna do this in the parking lot?
Yes,
This is in the parking lot.
we did this in the park, and we left and went and got cake and coffee.
Oh boy, what a great way to polish that
Yeah.
off.
No, we're not done.
we're not done.
Okay.
We're not done.
We're
that
not
was just dinner.
Okay. It's dinner
So
and a
now
nice
we go-
light snack.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I don't know what you call that meal, man. For us, it would be dinner, cake and coffee. That's the end of the night, right? No, we go have some wonderful cake and coffee, and then we find ourselves at a karaoke bar, all right, where we order more food
And more beer.
and more beer.
I couldn't even imagine.
So much rice wine, Fanta,
Yeah.
and soju.
So like at this point,
So
he
wait,
is.
rice wine and Fanta mix?
And
Yes.
soju is a thing.
What's soju?
Soju is like a Korean vodka. It's not
Okay.
as strong, but
Okay.
people kind of underestimate it because they're like, oh, it's only 40 proof. I can drink so much of this. But
Oh.
it's one of those things that you walk into the bathroom and you're crawling out of the bathroom because it hits you when you stand up.
Wow.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
they serve it to you in a little 12-ounce like beer bottle almost.
Mm-hmm.
And they have 2 different kinds: a green cap and a red cap. The red cap is stronger.
Okay.
So depending on I
Okay.
guess if you're there with friends or not.
Sure.
Yeah. Depending on how
Yeah.
how
So like
inebriated
by
you
the
wanna be.
time we got to the karaoke bar, so the karaoke in Korea for the most part aren't like the karaoke bars that you see here, where it's like an open space and people like hear you sing and it's in front of all these people. In Korea, it's actually in rooms like this.
Yeah,
You
it's
and your
private.
friends are in your private room.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you can imagine you and all of your friends in a private karaoke room.
Yes.
Drunk as shit.
I can imagine. Just wasted.
And it's so much fun.
Oh yeah.
It's amazing.
It is. Oh my goodness.
So wait, were you singing American songs? Or
Oh,
Korean
both.
songs? Or
Yeah,
Both.
both.
Were you singing Korean songs?
No.
No, this is where I just kind of clap along.
This is great.
Yeah.
But at this time at the karaoke place, it's like, because he doesn't understand a lot of Korean, so he didn't realize what was actually happening. And then he realized we ordered all this more food, and he literally got mad. He's like, "Are you kidding me? Are you fucking serious?"
Like there's no way. There's no way. But there was a way. By the time we
just
left,
have to push it down.
it went somewhere, and there was no one that came and checked on us.
So there's no like concierge service that'll come in. And
No,
say,
no.
So in Korea, a lot of like table service is done by like buttons on the table.
okay.
So there's like these little button tower dome things. So when you need someone, you press the button, and like all the servers, they kind of congregate in one area, and there's like a little board above their area. It lights up to where who's pressing the button. So
they'll come to that room.
yeah.
Okay.
And it's like that in restaurants too. There's a button usually.
Wow, so there's not just like kind of a rotation of what
Mm-mm.
you're
No.
doing. You just,
There's no like
That's so
touching
efficient.
tables. It is.
Mhm.
It
yeah,
is.
We should
Yeah.
do that here.
I know.
Did you do that at your restaurant?
No.
Well, we had a concept that I would have liked to have tried that would have given it more a more authentic Korean barbecue restaurant feel. In some restaurants, your booth is more of a little private booth. You know, it may be a table for 4 to 6 people, but
You're kind of enclosed.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really neat, So I mean,
Yeah.
some you might have a curtain,
Oh,
you'll
cool.
just draw the curtain too. So
Pretty
it would be a
private.
booth like
Yeah.
at a restaurant, but it's more
more
private.
private.
Yeah. Oh.
It's pretty neat.
So
Crazy.
maybe after we make
Yeah.
some money.
Absolutely. Well, and
Yeah.
Dixon, I think that would go over really well too, because my wife and I, we'll go out to eat in Dixon every now and then. But just knowing people, you're like, I just want a night with my
Right.
significant other, or my
Mhm.
family.
Where you
and
don't
not
run
have to
into people.
socialize. Yeah.
Right.
But if you can just walk in somewhere and like, see you later,
Yeah.
and have something to eat.
Yeah,
that'd be awesome.
we like with our restaurant, we actually have quite a bit of space, like outdoor space.
Cool.
So one thing we talked about was maybe we could do something like that for warmer weather later.
Cool.
Mm.
Yeah,
Cool.
so because it is really really nice. It's like you're out and you're eating out, but then again you're like private, so it really becomes like a
Intimate.
nice enclosure almost.
Mm.
Wow. All right. So you ate pretty much all of Korea.
Yeah.
Yeah, we took him everywhere. Like
Oh,
he's
yeah.
been to like 8 different cities in Korea in like a span of 2 weeks.
So have you only been once? Or
Together,
a couple times?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you just went balls to the wall. At
Absolutely.
all time.
Yeah, we went from the
We went from Seoul.
northwest corner to the southeast corner. So
Yeah, and everything in between, pretty much.
Is it pretty safe? Like everywhere?
It's
you go?
extremely
Absolutely.
safe.
Cool.
It's extremely safe. Like
awesome.
like as a woman, like you don't feel scared to be walking down a street at 3 a.m. by yourself.
So awesome.
Yeah, it's extremely safe.
Thanks again to the station for sponsoring this episode. If you are looking to book your next wedding or reception, baby shower or birthday party, conference or class, photo or video shoot, or even a live music performance, please reach out to Andy Truman at 336-693-4311 or shoot her an email at events@mulberrymilldixon.com. If you're interested in sponsoring an episode, please reach out to me directly via email at yourvibespodcast@gmail.com. Thanks again for listening, and always remember, stay vibey, my friends.